Hey, what's going on? So I wanted to go ahead and jump straight into answering the question for today, which is once I'm in the friend zone, how do I get out of the friend zone? That is probably the most common question I get from guys. Everyone's got a different variation of this question, a specific girl, a specific scenario, and almost every single one of them has the exact same problem. So I'm going to go into what got you in there briefly, and then I'm going to go into, more importantly, how to get out of it once you are in, which can be complicated if you don't know exactly what to do. So first, the reason why you're in the friend zone. Well, there are two major reasons why guys fall into the friend zone. Usually these are working in conjunction with each other, so you're doing both of these things. The first one is not touching enough. Now the reason why that is the case is because the friend zone is basically a massive amount of rapport built with a woman, trust, comfort, but not any sexuality. Well, sexuality is a direct physical connection with one person. So in order to build that sort of sexuality, you have to break the touch barrier early on, and you have to continue to escalate the touch barrier as time goes on. So basically what that means is that when you first meet a woman, if you aren't touching her within the first 3 to 5 seconds on her shoulder or on her hand, just briefly, just for maybe 2 to 3 seconds, you keep your hand on, or maybe even less, and then take your hand off again. As you're touching, if you're not doing that constantly, as in at least once a minute when you're talking, then you are probably headed toward the friend zone. And so what she's doing is she's building all this curiosity around you. She's interested. She's like I said, she's curious. She's intrigued by you in the beginning, but she's not getting any physical touch. And so that intrigue is not attached to anything. It's just there. When she sees you, it triggers it. So we have something called anchors, emotional anchors. And these emotional anchors are basically different things that we associate with different emotions. And if you can touch a woman while you're talking to her, then you will anchor the concept of comfort, of trust, and of connection to, and even intrigue, to your touch. So that means that every time you touch her, she'll feel that same feeling again. And if you don't do it when you first meet a woman, then it won't happen at all. You'll have to sort of reframe it all over again. So the first one is not touching enough. I'd probably say on average, if I walk into a room of guys, I would say that about 95% to 98% of them don't touch enough. And usually they all could touch around 300% more, meaning the amount of times that they touch, it could be 3 times the amount of times that they touch, and it would still be fine. In fact, it would probably be a lot better for them. So I would say increase the amount of times that you touch a woman by about 300% or 3 times. So if you're touching a woman, and you probably haven't thought about this very much, but if you're touching a woman maybe not at all night, then you want to at least touch her 3 times when you're talking to her. If you are touching a woman maybe once every 30 minutes, just casually, and I mean as you might touch a dude, like a friend of yours, it's like, on the shoulder, or, you might go, for example, you might have a sentence that says, you might say, well, what do you think about this? And you might stick your hand out and touch their arm for a second, like, what do you think about this? And it's a normal, totally normal touch. You're not looking at your hand when you do it. You're not coming straight out like this and like reaching way over. It's very casual. It's completely normal sort of hand gestures and hand movements, except you're making contact. So you want to definitely do that. Touch about 3 times more than you currently are. And the other one is, the other reason why guys fall into the friend zone is because they skip the stage of attraction altogether. This is like walking up to a girl in a bar and saying, "Do you come here often?" So that is sort of a fake rapport. That's like the idea that you're trying to build this connection with her way too early. And women don't give a shit. When they first meet you, they don't care where you're from, even really what your name is, what you're interested in. They don't care about any of that stuff. What they want to know is, are you worth talking to, or is this going to be a conversation where they're going to feel like they need to ask their friend to come over and save them, or they have to go to the bathroom and sneak away or something. So what you have to do in the beginning is build that intrigue, build that curiosity.